A single-engine, all-metal, high-wing monoplane with short takeoff and landing characteristics for a wide range of jobs. A cargo and passenger carrier in one. Meets private, commercial, and military requirements for transport of personnel and freight. A multi-purpose workhorse of the air. Pilatus Porter. Built in Switzerland. With same airframe, choice of 3 different engines. Lycoming IGO 350 horsepower, service ceiling 13,000. Lycoming GSO 340 horsepower, supercharged, service ceiling 23,000. Turbomica Astazu 2, 530 horsepower, ground run for takeoff, 460 feet, fully loaded. Service ceiling over 26,000 feet. And landing run only 230 feet, the perfect STOL aircraft. Large standard wheel or big balloon tires for very rough airstrips or swampy ground. Pilatus Porter means versatility. Takeoff from airstrip, landing on snow, just a routine operation for Pilatus Porter. With a hand pump, the pilot lowers skis in flight for landing on a snowfield. Pilatus Porter has stood up to severe tests the world over. It's in permanent service on all 5 continents. In an example of further versatility, it is seen here touching down on a Scandinavian fjord. Pilatus Porter has been used in many difficult mountain rescue operations. The cabin with seating capacity for 8 persons can easily be converted into a cargo hold. Here we are preparing for a 6-hour flight. 85 US gallons of fuel are to come aboard, which permits room for a payload of 1,200 pounds. This amount of fuel is more than ample for the toughest mountain flight, as proven by countless rescue actions. Flick, the well-known mountain rescue dog, always goes proudly along. So far, he has saved 22 persons from an icy death. Parachuting from the Pilatus Porter. 4 jump simultaneously, safely, through the wide door opening. Flying without the door is permissible because the door is not part of the supporting structure. Jumps can also be made through the cabin floor hatch, measuring 2 by 3 feet. Everything has been thought of. This plane is the ideal workhorse for mountain country. Even firewood is transported to isolated mountain huts. It's economical with Pilatus Porter. Wood is piled on the hatch, released by the pilot, and out it goes, just like a bombardment. For aerial survey and topographic photography, the hatch is designed for installation of the renowned wild cameras RC5 or RC9, equipped with wide-angle lens of 120 degrees. To further the cause of science, a geological research station had to be set up in rugged territory. and the only landing place was this rough bit of plateau. With its short landing run, the Pilatus Porter took this terrain in its stride with not the slightest damage to equipment being flown in. The Pilatus Porter can be employed in many different ways. For instance, due to its great ease of control to fly low and slowly over any terrain, it is particularly applicable to agricultural pest control. A spraying tank holding 220 US gallons of insecticide can be built into the cabin. Heavy machinery for testing the subterranean soil and rock formation was airlifted here in successive flights, all without incident. The project completed many weeks later, all the complicated gear has to be hauled out. Abundant snow has meanwhile fallen, but nevertheless, Pilatus Porter is on the job. The pilot simply pumps down the skis and lands as safely as ever. A report has come in. Someone is injured in the mountains and needs urgent help. Once again, Hermann Geiger, the famous Swiss glacier pilot, takes off in one of his 3 Pilatus Porters. Many such flights have convinced Hermann Geiger that Pilatus Porter can be relied upon. He has to have a reliable plane, for a life may depend on his getting there punctually. Hermann Geiger gets to the spot in time. A routine case, a skiing mishap. Even so, swift help is required. He takes off at once, and with a cruising speed of 120 miles per hour, the patient will soon be in the hospital. To help mankind, the Red Cross uses Pilatus Porters in Africa and in Nepal because they are readily convertible in a fast, roomy aerial ambulance. Here in the Himalayas, the severest demands are made on aircraft. These narrow valleys make one realize the value of a takeoff run of 520 feet, fully loaded with the supercharged engine, and a rate of climb of 12 feet per second. It is obvious why the Nepalese government is interested in these rugged plains. Test pilot Böhm presents Pilatus Porter with the supercharged Lycoming engine to high dignitaries. This foreign minister had his doubts about going up, but this flight made him an enthusiast. From Kathmandu over passes more than 16,000 feet above sea level to the Khumbu Valley. The majestic Himalayas draw nearer. Amar Dablan almost within reach. Then past Everest, Lhotse and Nuptse. Here Pilatus Porter really shows what it can do. It sacrifices none of its great qualities at high altitudes. At 15,250 feet in the Khumbu Valley, pilot Böhm touches down safely as usual. After a run of 520 feet, we were airborne. This at an altitude of over 15,000 feet. It is obvious that at this high altitude, the Pilatus Porter would give the same top performance and be as much at home in the South American Andes as it is here on the roof of the world. There are many Porter planes on the American continent. A high-ranking general on a demonstration flight in Mexico. An Italian mission interested in the Porter's mountain performance. It was evident to them that the versatility of the Pilatus Porter in any condition, winter or summer, made it the ideal aircraft for their demand. Ex-President of Switzerland, Max Petitpierre, likes the feeling of security instilled by Pilatus Porter, his choice for an alpine flight. The economy of the Pilatus Porter even permits the organizing of geography lessons the modern way. What an unforgettable day to be airborne for the first time, to see familiar surroundings, their hometown, church, schoolhouse, the winding highway to the Alps, a new perspective on their world. The most fascinating peak of the Western Alps, the Matterhorn. The first conquest in 1865 by the English mountaineer Whymper ended in tragedy when he fell during his descent. And now the climax of the flight, the sensation of flying on a par with the Mont Blanc Massif with peaks of about 15,000 feet. Pilatus Porter is also becoming the first choice of skiers who want to save time, to get to those beckoning slopes fast. And considering the time element, a group flight costs no more than normal ground transport. Taking this into account, and the fact that there is ample room for them as well as their equipment, it is no wonder that the Pilatus Porter is fast becoming an indispensable form of transport to the skiing resorts. Down on the Theodul Glacier, high above Zermatt, and with the Matterhorn grandeur behind them, the passengers can expect a wonderful day of skiing on the magnificent snowfields. Again, this is where the reliability of the Pilatus Porter comes to the fore. Requires only minimum servicing. All essential parts are within very easy reach, making the aircraft economical in operation and having the added advantage of being sensibly priced in view of its versatility. Checks can be easily and quickly made in rough mountain terrain. Easy conversion by hand pump from skis to wheel, and back again. The easy-to-fly Pilatus Porter can be quickly mastered by any average pilot. Pilatus Porter for passenger and freight lifts, aerial mapping, parachuting, supply drops, pest control. With Lycoming supercharged engine 340 horsepower, maximum takeoff weight 4,300 pounds, cruising speed 120 miles per hour, rate of climb 12 feet per second, payload 1,200 pounds for a 6-hour flight, service ceiling 23,000 feet. Pilatus Porter, a triumph of Swiss engineering.